Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So I'm doing a first impressions review on these brushes here, and they are like the dupes for the oval brushes. It's sent to me by my makeup brush set, and they wanted me to do a review and let them know what I actually thought of these brushes. So they sent me the two sets, but I chose to test out this set here purely because I like the fact that they had a writing on the end of the brushes to say what part of the face they would probably use these brushes for. So I quite like that aspect of them, but the other set didn't have that, so I thought let me just test it out. The other set I will actually be doing maybe a giveaway, so if you do want this set of brushes, well the other ones that I haven't used yet, please comment below, let me know why you feel that you should get them. So I have done a full face tutorial using those brushes for different areas of my face. So if you want to see what I thought of them, please keep watching. Don't forget to thumbs up if you like this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel too. So I've just prepped my eyelids using the Urban Decay Original Primer Potion and just set that. And then I'm taking this brush here, which actually says lip brush. But guys, that I personally don't think is a lip brush, but I will try it out on my eyes. It is kind of dome shaped, so I'm not sure how that's going to work, but a lot of these brushes are dome shaped, so I'm going to test it out on my eyes. I'm first starting off with Mesmerized by Makeup Geek and just taking some of the product on the brush. Let's see how it goes. It's not that bad. It doesn't really stay under the crease how I would like it to, but that's kind of expected as the brush is quite big. And just doing the same on the other side. As the bristles here were a little bit firm and not really that flexible to blend, I just did a patting motion with this brush. Oh, it's working to be a mess, but I will carry on with it. So guys, you can probably see that it is gone quite high up my crease line, and that's not how I normally do my eyeshadows, but I will now try and find a blending brush because this pack doesn't really come with a blending brush, but I'll try and find something that may work similar to it. So the closest I found to a blending brush was this one here. Now it can, I feel, be used also as a lip brush. This one says a nose shadow brush, which I think they mean like to contour the sides of the nose, which yes, I agree with as well. But if I was to do like eyeshadows and stuff, I need a blending brush just to blend away any harsh lines. Now if I'm sticking with just these brushes, I think this is the closest match that I can find. So then I'm taking Creme Brulee by Makeup Geek and just taking some product on the brush, and fingers crossed it will help blend out these harsh lines. It actually is like quite tugging on my eyelids here, and I personally don't feel that it blends away at all. It's actually making it worse, I feel. Yeah, I don't really like it for that, but I will continue with it on the other side. I think this would work really well for contouring, like the sides of the nose and stuff as well, but for eyes, nah. So for highlighting my brow bone, I'm going to stick with the same brush, and I'm taking my Carly Bible palette and I'm taking this shade here. All the shadows in this palette are amazing. They're super pigmented and really creamy and easily blendable. And then just to add a little bit extra, I'm taking Burlesque by Makeup Geek and then using again the same small brush and applying the product to the outer corners. So I'm first packing on the product onto the outer corners, so majority of the colour is placed there, and then whatever's left on the brush I'm just sweeping slightly towards the inner centre. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave my eyeshadow as it is because no matter what I'm trying with these brushes, it's just making it worse. So I'll leave it as that. I'll move on to my eyeliner, and I'm taking the one by Morphe, and it's in the shade called Slate. And I'm taking their eyeliner brush, which is quite thin, but it is quite, I don't know, I think it will tug when I'm trying to do the eyeliner, but we will find out. Here it goes. So I'm going to start off with the outer corner. So I'm trying to create a little wing first, and then working from the mid section, pulling the product out towards the wing, and then joining it from the inner corners of my eyes. So it's not too bad. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's quite thick. So if you like your thick eyeliners, I think it would work really well. Or if you're wearing false lashes where you know a lot of it's going to get covered with a lash band, especially if it's got a thin, thick lash band, it can possibly work, but I wouldn't choose to use this brush for this. Let's put it that way. So I've tried to do the other side and it just went wrong. It is so hard to control the product with this brush, and it just goes major thick. Like the tiniest mistake you make and it's just gone. It's just ruined it altogether. So I'm not too happy with this brush. Okay, so moving on to my face now, I'm just going to take the ABH foundation stick, and this is in the shade Golden, and I'm just going to draw some lines on my face. This foundation is really good, guys. You've got to try it out. And then I'm taking their largest brush in the collection, and this actually says powder brush. But I think, yeah, you can possibly use it as a powder brush. But as it's the largest one, I think it will blend out the foundation really nicely as well. So let's give it a go. So literally all I'm doing is trying to blend this foundation away, and I have spritzed it with MAC Fix Plus spray because I feel it just works a little bit better with blending the foundation. Okay, so automatically it was quite a bit of a tug. I do already have another set of dupes of these brushes. I can't remember what company they're from, but I have done a video on it already before, and I'll leave a link of that video down below as well for you guys. And I found that those brushes were slightly more softer than these ones. So these ones I found to be tugging, and literally, check that. It looks as if it's going to snap any moment, so that's why I had to grab it from here to try and just blend out the foundation. Maybe it'll be better to blend out liquid foundations and maybe just to apply the powder. But you know, I'm testing out everything, so I thought cream would be better to test out. But it is literally, I have a feeling it's going to snap off any moment. And for concealing and highlighting, I'm taking the Anti-Age Eye Rewind Concealer by Maybelline, and this is in the shade Nude. And I'm just applying it to my usual areas, which is under my eyes, like an upside down triangle, down the bridge of my nose, tiny bit on my forehead, a bit more here, a little bit on my cupid's bow, and under the area where I would normally contour. And to blend all that out, I'm taking this size brush here, and this actually says foundation brush on it. I don't know if you guys can see. So I'm going to try using this just to blend out the highlighted areas. So like any other brush that I would use in this situation, I'm trying to just pat the product on and not trying to really sweep it across, because that actually just takes the product away. Yeah, I'm not too happy with this brush either. It seemed as if it was literally dragging the product rather than trying to blend it away. So I tried to do like a patting motion, but that really wasn't working. It's just left little patchy appearances on my face. Yeah, not a fan of this brush. Then for cream contouring, I'm taking this brush here, which is the largest of their thin brushes. And this brush says eyeshadow brush. Now, how this looks like it would be an eyeshadow brush, I do not know. But I'm not going to use it for eyeshadow. I'm going to use it just to help draw the contours out. So I'm just applying it to the usual areas, which are the hollows of my cheeks, down the sides of my nose, also the tip of my nose as well, a little bit under my lower lip, along my jawline and along my forehead as well. So then, just to blend out the contoured areas, I'm taking the smallest of their oval brush, and this actually says concealer brush, which, yes, I agree, you can possibly use that just to blend out the concealer, but I think it would work well for the contours as it's a smaller area that you want to work on. So I'm using this brush like I would another brush to blend out my contours, just trying to do like a blending motion and a little bit of patting motion. So this, again, I don't really like. I think if I use it a bit more often, then I could possibly get used to it, but I think it's just a bit more hard work. I'd rather just use like a beauty blender sponge or one of those softer brushes from like Morphe or Sigma, something like that, just to help blend that bit out. But yeah, not for me again. So what I'm going to do is just go around and just powder my face very, very lightly, and I'm just going to use this one here, and this one actually says blusher brush, which I can understand. I will probably also use this for my blush, but I'm just going to very, very lightly try to set everything in place. So I'm doing like a patting motion because I didn't want to actually disrupt anything underneath, like my foundation and the contouring, etc. So this brush, I do not know how it can be used to apply any sort of powder because it is so hard. Like, don't know if you guys can hear, but it's like literally hitting a, it's, I don't know, for powders I'd imagine the brush to be a lot softer so it can apply the powders really nicely on the face, but instead of me trying to do like a circular motion like I would with a powder brush, I had to literally just do that, like powder, and it feels as if I'm actually hitting my face. So I didn't like it for that reason. If it was softer, maybe it's something that you can work with, but this is just going to go in the bin. So then I'm going to go in and set my contoured areas, and for that I'm taking my Carly Bible palette again and using this darker shade, and I'm mainly using it as a bronzer, so I'm not going to apply too much of a harder contour because I feel that with this brush it's just not going to work and it's going to make it streaky. So I'm going to see as a bronzer first how it applies, because that actually should be really nice and flush. Wow, okay. This is like awful. Do I continue? I do not know. This is... Is it the... I don't know. Is it how I'm using it? Guys, I don't know if I'm using it incorrectly, but this is awful. Like, this is supposed to give, like, I just took the tiniest amount of the product and it's just given me like, oh, don't like it. So even though I don't like it, I am carrying on with this brush because the whole point of this video is to review these brushes and the effectiveness of them. I think I'm going to leave it as that because it's just going to get worse. So then I'm moving on to my blusher, and I'm using the brush that says blusher brush, and I'm using my MAC Ripe Peach blush for this. So learning from the bronzing, I'm just applying the smallest amount first of the blush because I know it's quite harsh to blend it away. Okay, so it has applied my blush okay. I still feel it's quite patchy and quite intense and strong in some areas, and it's just hard to just blend it out. But I think using this a few more times for a blush can possibly work, so I wouldn't rule that out totally. Again, not my preference, not my choice that I would say, right, I'm going to go for this brush for my blush, but if I did have it, maybe I would use it for my blush instead of anything else. For my highlight, I'm taking this oval brush which I initially applied my eyeshadow with, and I'm taking the Carly Bible palette again, and I'm taking this shade here. Let's see how it goes. I think I literally have to just dot it. Oh, yeah, it's not really gonna work. Maybe I will try bigger size brush to see if it spreads it a little bit better on the other side. So I'm going to try this size, which is slightly bigger, and see if it blends it out any better. Okay, so this side is better, I feel. So maybe I should have used just the bigger size. It's not too bad. I don't feel it's too bad for applying the highlight. This side definitely is just too streaky. I will try and just blend it out with this one as much as I possibly can, but I think with this, once it's on, it's hard to blend out with this. Okay, so for my brows, I am actually taking the brush that says eyebrow brush. But look at this, guys. It's like half filled, or they put the brush in the wrong handle or something. It's just, the finishing is just not there. I will give it a go, purely because I do need to use it, but yeah, I really don't think it's gonna work. So for my brows, I'm taking the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade, and this is in dark brown. So I'm starting off with the smallest amount of product on the brush first, purely because of the experience that I've been having so far with these brushes, because it's just easier to build and add on top. So I would probably recommend that if you are using these brushes, start off with a small amount. Okay, so this has actually taken me by surprise. I thought it will be really, really bad. I just feel I need more practice with it, but it has given me thickness. I don't know if it's too thick, so if you like your thick, heavy brows, I think it will work. If you like your thin ones, I think it will be hard work trying to keep it nice and thin, because I just feel that these bristles are just going to go everywhere. But it's not done as bad of a job as I thought it was going to do. So I'm just going to go in and apply some mascara, and this is the Better Than Sex mascara by Too Faced. So whilst we're on the mascara topic, I have done a video on my new mascara technique, and I'll also link that down below, and it works really well and no need for lash curlers. And then finally, moving on to my lips, I'm taking this brush here, which is similar to the one that I applied some of my eyeshadows and the crease area, but it's just flat at the end instead of being curved. So I'm going to use this. It actually says contour brush on this. Which again, yes, I assume you can use it for contouring, but seeing as I haven't used it yet, I'm going to just use it for my lips. And I was initially going to do a nude colour, but in order for me to see the effectiveness of it, I am just going to go with a darker colour, because any mistakes made you'll be able to see with a darker colour. So let's see. And for my lips, I'm taking the Kiko lipstick, and this is in the shade 915. Firstly, I'm loading the lipstick onto the brush and then applying it onto my lips like I would with a normal lip brush, but because it's bigger, it just needs that much more concentration when using it. Okay guys, so it's not that bad using this brush. I think the one that had the curved end would work better for the lips, and this I would probably use for contouring the nose, but it's not done a bad job, so I'm not gonna put it down because it has done a good enough job. It does need a bit more concentration when you are using this brush compared to a standard lip brush, or just applying the product with the well, if you're using a lipstick, then just applying it naturally just with the tube. But it's not done a bad job. I can't really fault this one. So that is the look complete, guys. I have done the best I can using these brushes here, and I've tried to use each and every one of these just to make sure that I've tested them all out. I am going to put my hands up. It is not a good product overall. Some brushes are fine. Maybe I just need more practice with it to give it a better look. I don't know, but it leaves my skin feeling patchy, and normally when I've blended foundation it generally tends to feel fine, but right now some areas feel thicker than others on my face, so it doesn't feel too good. But I will come closer so you guys can see all the errors and everything that these brushes have done. So these are the eyes. As you can see, the eyeliners are totally misfits, and the eyeshadow blending and everything is just awful. And for my face, I don't know if you guys can see, it is quite patchy, and not as good as I would normally do with, say, my other brushes. What I did like about these brushes is that they had a name on the handle of the brushes that they recommend. The only downfall to it is that I don't agree with the names being with the brushes that they had set it with. That is just my personal preference, because some brushes I just totally just didn't work for me. So they are very, very cheaply made. Like this brush here, look at the edge bit here. You can see the glue, you can see that the bristles aren't right. Now, if you were giving someone a set of brushes to do a review on and knowing that it's going to be publicized everywhere, you would have at least thought to give them a good batch. But I guess what they did is just gave out any batches that they would have to anybody else. So it could have been me or you, anybody got a batch like this, or all of them might be like this, I don't know. But very, very cheaply made. You do get 10 of these brushes, or all of these brushes, for about £30. So price wise is not too bad, and if you feel that you can use them better than I can use them, I think it's worth it, because it is only £30 for the brushes. So my opinion on these brushes, just I don't like them, and I'm really, really sorry to my makeup brush sets, but I think the quality is definitely not there. And yes, I agree that the price reflects it, but if I was a company making these brushes, then I would maybe up the price a little bit but get the quality right, because you will definitely get more consumers that way. Another thing I did find with these brushes is that as soon as I did that, when I first got them, there was powder of some sort going everywhere. So I had to wash these brushes first, let them dry, and then use them. So yeah, that's one thing that I would recommend to anybody who are buying these brushes, is to test that out first, because you don't know what's on that. All that powder, if you didn't wash them, that's going onto your face, and some people can get reactions from it as well. So just be very, very careful. I personally, not just these brushes but any brushes I get, I always give them a wash first before I use them on myself or on my clients, because that is going on your face, and your face is on show all the time. So another fault, or something that I didn't like about these brushes, which I have already pointed out, is that like it just bends like at the tiniest pressure. That shouldn't really happen, because I as a consumer would be worried that this is going to snap off any moment, and then it would be a waste, because then you would have to use it like this, which I personally wouldn't prefer to do. So they should have made this bit here just a tiny bit more stronger. Now they do have a variety of brushes, which again you can use as you choose. So certain things I would use for certain areas, you might choose to use somewhere else, which is absolutely fine, because everybody's way of doing makeup and everything is different. But overall, these are literally going to go in the bin. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope this review has been useful. Please do thumbs up if you did like this video, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video.